pull your big girl panties up and work. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a Q&A and a lot of you guys have asked for one, so I figured now is the time. And the reason why I'm doing it now is because this is technically, well, when this goes live, it'll be the 14th video for my Vlogmas, and it will be the last Vlogmas episode that I do. I really only set out to do 12, and you ended up getting 2 whole weeks, so I hope you guys are okay with that. Don't worry, I will be uploading still 3 times a week. It just won't be every day. And the main reason is because my birthday is coming up, and then I'm going out of town. I will be vlogging the entire time, but I don't want to be worried about having to upload while I'm supposed to be enjoying my birthday, and the same thing through Christmas. But either way, that is that. If you aren't aware, I did put questions on my Instagram stories for you all to ask, so I'm just going to try to blaze through as many of those as I can. If I don't answer your question and you're still really curious, just go ahead and resend it in a DM and I'll answer it privately. All right, 20 minutes on the clock. So the first question is something I've been avoiding for a long time. I've never talked about it on my channel, and my OG subscribers have been asking about her and where she is, and that is what happened to Harlow, our dog. So if you go all the way back on my channel, you'll realize that we used to have a dog, and we had her for years prior to having a baby. I'm not going to go into detail on as to why she's no longer here because she's already gone, but basically we did have to find her a new home. It just wasn't working out anymore after we had our baby, and she no longer, and even I didn't feel like we could give her the love and the attention, more so, not even so much the love, the attention that she needed because we spoiled her so much, and it caused her to act out. And in the acting out and the things that she was doing here, we decided it was best to find her a new home. I am still in great contact with her new home. They send photos to me of her and they spoil her, so she is in good hands. This one's from Carol Linnell. Favorite memory of you and Brandon when y'all were just dating? We used to go to a lot of concerts back before we were this busy and we didn't have a baby. Brandon and I used to go to concerts all the time, just the two of us, sometimes with friends, but like we were concert going people, and we just have so many inside jokes and so many laughs of like how wild and crazy we used to be, and I really enjoyed that time. I mean, I'm glad to be where I am now, and not that I can't go to concerts now, but those, just going to concerts with him were the best. How many children do you want? What did you get your degree in? I would only like to have about 2 children, 3 tops. If we get a girl next, we're done. If we have a boy next, then we'll probably adopt a girl. And my degree was in communications with an emphasis in broadcast news. The next question is, how often do you and your husband have alone time? I would say every night when he's home. After Bash goes to bed, we have alone time. He goes to bed pretty early. And then we try to do date night at least like once every 2 weeks or so. Has Bash started to have tantrums? And if so, how do you deal with it? I saw that he was in timeout. What did you do? So Bash did get his first timeout yesterday, and I took him over to the wall. I would have put him in a corner, but we just didn't have any free at the moment. And I faced him toward the wall. He tried to get up and I said, sit down. He knows what sit down means. So I helped him back down to the floor. He turned around again and tried to get up. I said, sit down, and he did. And he didn't face the wall, he faced me, and I made him sit there for a minute, and that was basically it. He stayed there because he knows what sit down means, and he usually listens to that. But with the tantrums, if we're in public, and I think I said this in his 15-month update, I try to just take him out of the situation so that no one is embarrassed, and then at home, depending on the situation, will determine if I ignore it or not. Was it beneficial to put him in timeout? I would say yes, because he stopped doing what he was doing. The next question is, are you still friends with Aaron Williams? The answer is yes. Aaron and I are still friends. We talk pretty much every day. We're in a group text with the girls who we went to Vegas with. We literally talk every single day, all day long, and usually without fail, like Aaron's the first person to send a text in the morning. So yeah, we talk, we're still friends. What is the best and worst part of being on YouTube? So the best part is being able to communicate with all of you. I've never in my life met this many women, and I say met lightly, but spoken to this many women and connected with so many women and moms with across the board. It's just the best feeling in the world. I love it. I can't even put into words how much, I'm gonna cry, how good that makes me feel. But the worst part is also because I do open up my life, people do sometimes feel entitled to say things that aren't kind to me, or, you know, pry into things that maybe they shouldn't be asking because it's just not normal to ask that to anybody, but it comes with the territory. The good outweighs the bad. I love YouTube so much. What does your husband think about your YouTube career? He loves it. I think he likes that I'm actually doing something that I want to do, and he knows that doing something other than just being a mom and a wife is fulfilling for me, and so he's 100% supportive of that. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Definitely would love to be doing YouTube still. I would love to have grown my channel so big that maybe I can be on a different platform as well, but still doing the same thing, which is just helping women, reaching out to you all, talking to you all, and even maybe using my communications degree in another way as well. And obviously I would still be married to Brandon and our family would be complete by then. The next question I got a lot as well, and it's how am I coping with the loss of my dad? How's my mom? And it's tough. I don't really like to talk about it on my channel because when I talk about him, I cry. And it's not to say that it's not okay to cry, but I don't want to cry in every video. I miss him every day. I think about him every day, but I know that he's no longer suffering, and if that is how it had to be for him to no longer be sick, then I'm at peace. And I know he's in heaven. He was the most godly Christian man I could have ever known. He was the greatest man I've ever known. And I know that he is with God. And that, like I said, it gives me so much peace. And it's a struggle. I think about him every single day, but we are making it through. The next question is, how has your marital life and intimacy become after having your child? I think, and this may sound not romantic, but sometimes you have to schedule the intimacy in. And it's not to say that there's no love behind it because you planned it, but I mean, sometimes you have to. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Things definitely changed at the very beginning because we weren't used to having to focus all of our attention on anyone else but the two of us. But once you find your rhythm, usually in that 6-week period after the baby's born when you're not supposed to be doing it anyway, like then you can kind of get back into it. And then I think having date nights or taking time in the evening to just hang out together can lead to like intimacy and having intimate moments, and then it comes back more than ever, but it only changes for a moment, at least in my opinion, at the beginning. So this one is kind of a fun question. What is Bash, yours, and Brandon's zodiac sign? Do you believe in them? I do not. I really don't even know anything about the zodiac. I'm a Sagittarius. I think Brandon may be a Sagittarius or a Capricorn. I don't know. His birthday's New Year's Eve, so you guys can let me know in the comments what he is. And Bash, I believe, is a Leo, but I don't know what any of the characteristics are. I don't know if they're even compatible with each other. I just don't, that's just never been something I've been into. Although back in the day I used to read Cosmo and I would read like the horoscopes and be like, oh, this is gonna be a good month for me, but like I never truly believed it. The next question is, can you do a hair routine? And I'm actually getting clip-in extensions this weekend, so I guess I can show you how I put them in on a day-to-day basis. You guys know how I am with my hair. Like when I first started my channel, my hair was a little longer than this, and then I got the extensions and they were jet black and I loved those, but then it was a lot of hair in the summertime, so then I went back to my hair. And then now I want long hair again, and I want to be whipping it around on my birthday. Not that I'm gonna be whipping anything, but you know what I mean, and have it through the holidays, but then I have it on my own terms because I can take them out because they're clip-ins. Maybe we'll do a video after that, but I will put a video down below where I show how I style my hair on a daily basis. I did it earlier this summer, and it was back when I had the long hair, but it's still the same technique. The next question is, as a full-time working parent, it's easy to feel guilty or that I'm missing out. Does Brandon feel that? I am certain Brandon feels guilty, which is one of the reasons why I get that hour in the evenings, because I know he wants that time with Bash to himself where he can, you know, do what he wants and have his alone time with Bash and you know, create that father-son bond. I don't know what parent would be comfortable with leaving as often as he does for a big chunk of the year and not have any, you know, feelings toward it. To me, I don't think Bash is going to remember how many times Brandon left. He's going to remember the type of dad Brandon was when he was with him, and if Brandon's present in the moment when they are together, I think that's all that's gonna matter. The next question is, what is your favorite thing to do when you get free or alone time? If I'm just here at the house and I have some free time, I will just sometimes go take a bubble bath, or I'll sit in my bathroom or lay in bed and scroll the internet, do whatever, get on Pinterest. Follow me on there. I love Pinterest. I'm always on there. If I'm able to leave the house, I'll go like grab a coffee and then go get my nails and toes done. That's like one of my favorite things to do. Or I'll go walk in the mall. Really, honestly, it doesn't matter what it is. I just like to be alone sometimes, and so everything is enjoyable at that point. Let's see. Love watching your videos and and you, do you say a bedtime prayer with Bash? Thank you. And at the moment, I don't say one with him, but I say one like over him. So if I'm putting him to bed, I'll hold him and just kind of like say a prayer, but not necessarily like with him. I'll just kind of say it aloud. But I do plan probably when he's 2 to teach him a prayer to say at night. Do you ever wish you could have a professional life and career instead of being a stay-at-home mom? This is a funny question because I chose to be a stay-at-home mom. I always knew I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. So my circumstance didn't put me here. If I truly wanted to be like a 9-to-5 behind a desk kind of girl, I would have just done it. But I didn't want that life for me. I personally have never liked working for other people. It's just not my thing. I do well in an office situation overall, but I personally love doing what I want on my own time every single day, which at first was just being a mom for about the first 6 months of Bash's life. And then I added YouTube on it. There's not really a need for me to go back to a desk job, and I'm going to do YouTube as long as I can. So if I keep growing, then that'll just continue to help me bring in even more of an income for my family. What do you use to edit your videos? So I do have this listed below, and also I have my lights and my camera listed below if you're ever interested. I have it below on all of my videos. But I use Final Cut Pro or I'll use iMovie, and it really just depends on the day and how much time I have. Do you ever feel like you are alone in your mom bubble? Yes, at times I do, but I do have, like I said, a good group of moms that I have group chats with. If you guys are familiar with obviously the girls I went to Vegas with, or Caitlin Nair and Brooke Amelia, we are also in a group chat. And then like I talked to a couple other YouTubers plus my non-YouTube mom friends, like my best friend Caitlin, who you guys will meet in my birthday vlog, and a couple other friends. Like I have a good tribe, I guess I would say. And because we all share our experiences with each other, I don't necessarily feel like I'm alone in the bubble, but I know exactly how it can feel that way, because if I'm not talking to them about my issues, then I'm not hearing about their experiences, and it can feel like you're the only one. Let's see, what haven't I answered yet? Oh, I like this one. Who is your style influence? You have such good taste, the Martha Stewart of my life. That makes me feel so good, because in a perfect world, actually not even in a perfect world, I'm going to set my mind to this and I'm going to do it, but I would like to have a lifestyle brand. So being called Martha Stewart of your life makes me feel good because I love Martha. But I would say my style influence probably would be, I love Olivia Palermo. I think hands down she has the greatest style I've ever seen. If you don't know who she is, just Google her. I also love Morgan Stewart's style of dressing as well. The next question is, how do you keep up with housework? Your home always looks spotless. Most of the time it is very clean. I have to give props where they're due. My husband helps a lot, because sometimes during the day I just can't get any housework done when I'm dealing with Bash. So he is quick to jump in when he gets home. But I also just try to do little bits during the day. So maybe my room will be a disaster, but then I make sure that the kitchen is clean or something, so that not every single room is a disaster all the time. I think it's just about balance and making sure that your husband chips in, because you know, he lives here too. Do you get burned out when your husband is away, and if so, how do you snap out of it? I absolutely get burned out. You guys saw about 2-3 videos ago me crying about how burned out I was. If you don't snap out of it, you'll just be laying in bed crying all day, and I can't. I'm a mom, I don't have that kind of time. I have a business to run, I have a bunch of things that I need to get done, so you just kind of have to put your feelings aside and pull your big girl panties up and work. The next 2 questions are kind of about football. NFL season ends in February. Shouldn't you be pregnant now so baby can be born when it's over? Actually, no, because babies take 9 months to get here. So if I were to get pregnant right now, I would be giving birth around the beginning of next season, which is what happened with Bash. I got pregnant in November and I gave birth in August. And that is like a nightmare scenario for me again, because the last thing I want to do is have a toddler and a newborn by myself while Brandon's traveling. The most ideal time, I mean, and we're talking about the most ideal time, would be for me to pop up pregnant in April of 2019. But I am starting my TTC journey in January. And the next one was, do you think Brandon will ever work for another NFL team? Also, will you always be a stay-at-home mom? I would love to stay in Atlanta for life and him working for the Falcons, but the reality of the situation is we just don't know. He could go to another team at any point, really. It's just if the right situation presented itself. I'm open to moving pretty much anywhere that there's not snow. And as long as I have babies, I will be a stay-at-home mom. And now that I have my channel, then I will probably just continue doing YouTube and being at home with them. And I think that's just such a blessing. I like this question. What are some mom hacks that you do every day to make life easier? So I actually heard this on Cara Linnell's channel. I think she said something like, or maybe I kind of like put my own spin on it, but it's basically make a list of all the things you need to do and then maybe pick 3 things from that list and try to do those 3 things. Don't try to do everything at once because you will get burned out. Give yourself some grace. Also, when your baby goes to bed at night, maybe try to take an hour and do some stuff then when you're not having to mom. Have you ever had image issues, maybe postpartum? So I'm gonna keep it real. Prior to having a baby, I never really had body image issues. I've always been a very athletic type of figure and I used to be really fit. But since having a baby, I've never obsessed more over how my body looks than I do now. And every single day I think about how much I weigh, what things look like, and how sometimes unhappy I am about it. At the moment, I weigh about 15 to 20 pounds more than I did when I started my YouTube channel. I was just like very skinny when I started the channel because I was breastfeeding. Currently, I weigh what I weighed on my wedding day, and on my wedding day I felt like I was really thin. However, back then it was muscle and now it is like loose jiggly skin from having been pregnant. So even though I'm the same weight, things are a little bit more saggy than they've ever been, but that just happens with motherhood. And so it kind of gives me a body image issue. My stomach isn't quite as flat as I would have liked it to be. My thighs are a little bit more jiggly. But I had a baby. I did something no man on this earth can do except that pregnant man on Oprah. I'm proud, and I know that I will kickstart my body back into good shape here soon, and especially when I'm trying to have my next baby, and that's just what it is. But that's a very real moment right there for you. How did I know that Brandon was the one? I knew he was the one when I knew that I could not and didn't want to go a day without being around him or speaking to him. Also, he was very aspirational at the time, and he still is, but he had like goals and dreams, and I knew that that was a characteristic that I wanted in my husband. Brandon's very smart, he's financially sound, and he basically is everything that I'm not, and I'm a lot of things that he isn't, and I think we complement each other. And I knew that I didn't want to not have him in my life, and he treats me like a queen. I am so blessed, and I couldn't let another girl have him, so snatched them right up when I could. Where's your favorite place to shop for Bash? I love Old Navy, I love Baby Gap, I like Target. Zara has really cute clothes for kids, and so does H&M. Basically anywhere you can get like cute, solid, basic, preppy looking clothes, I'm there. Are you in your forever home? And the answer is no. So we would love to build our forever home, and that will probably be the house after our next house. So we're going to move in 2020 out of this house and into another one. And I mean, unless that house is just spectacular, that will probably just be another temporary house, and then we'll build and live in our forever home. The next question is, are you a morning or a night person? I would probably say a morning person, although I hate getting up in the morning. Actually, I don't hate getting up in the morning. I hate being woken up in the morning, but I can't hang anymore. When it hits like 11 o'clock, I'm sleepy. Oh, this is a good one. As a person of faith, are you willing to befriend people who may or may not share your beliefs? Absolutely. If I weren't ever friends with people who weren't Christians, then I would never even have given myself the smallest opportunity to lead them to Christ. I think any Christian who chooses to not hang out with anyone ever who's not a Christian is basically going against what we're taught. You're supposed to love everybody, be fishers of men, and you can't lead anyone to Christ if you are choosing not to be around them. So yeah. Describe your perfect mom's night out. Do you get wild or stay chill? At this point, when I'm a week away from turning 30, I don't think getting wild is something I should be doing. Getting wild is not my idea of fun. That being said, I like to go out. I like to laugh, and I like to maybe have a cocktail, and I like to dance and things like that. But I think that getting sloppy and just having a fun night out are two different things. It's not always fun for me to just chill at home on the couch with my girlfriends. I like to go out and do things, but I don't necessarily think that it requires, you know, busting your knees because you've fallen because you've had so much to drink, or dancing inappropriately like in a club. Like, that's just not me. Are you considering sending Bash to preschool? If yes, at what age would you send him? It would definitely be after 2, maybe not even until 3 if I did. And it really just depends on the circumstances. If he's just a little weird because he's not socialized enough, then yeah, probably I would. But if it comes down to like a learning thing, I'll just buckle down and teach him a little bit more than I am. How do you feel about spanking? Do your views differ from how you and B were raised. I was raised in a spanking household. I got my butt spanked. Brandon never got spanked, but his mom believed in it. He never disobeyed. And I'm not against spanking. I don't think that they're always necessary, but I'm not against it either. And the last two questions are, how do I stay confident in my marriage when Brandon travels a lot? Basically, it comes down to trust. I trust my husband, but I've also made it clear that I don't play cheating and infidelity and all that stuff. It'll never be okay with me. And if he thinks that he can go and find another woman better for him than me, let's just say it's not going to happen. I'm confident. He knows that all this life that we have built together will be gone in an instant, and he's not willing to risk that. And the last question is, what advice would you give to a woman with postpartum anxiety and depression? The biggest piece of advice, I've made a whole video on this and I'll link it below if you want to watch it, but get help. Just go be seen by a doctor. Do not try to handle it yourself and wait it out, because it can get worse and it can get dangerous if you're not careful. I have just read so many scary stories of women who ignored their postpartum and their babies ended up injured, or they ended up hurting themselves. Why put yourself in that situation when you don't have to? Go get help. But anyway, that is the end of this Q&A. I hope I was able to answer all of your questions. If you have any more, like I said, feel free to leave them in the comments below or shoot me a DM on Instagram. That's probably the best place to talk to me. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you not tomorrow because I'm no longer doing Vlogmas, but I will see you, I guess, in my next one. Have a good one. Bye.